Russia has so much wealth that it can afford to spend billions of dollars on massive infrastructure projects, including ones that seem frivolous. The Russky Bridge is the longest cable-stayed bridge in the world, but it doesn't see much use on a daily basis. Russia spent a staggering $1.1 billion to build this impressive bridge that connects the Vladivostok to Russky Island. The only problem is that Russky Island is sparsely populated. Only 5,360 people actually live there, so Russky Bridge was called a vanity project by many people when it was proposed. Here's why Russia built a billion-dollar bridge to nowhere. The record-breaking bridge crosses the Eastern Bosphorus Strait and connects Vladivostok, which is the second largest city in the Russian Far East, to the sparsely populated Russky Island. This impressive Russian mega-project was a challenge to build, and it certainly didn't come cheap. Engineers worked tirelessly to design the stunning bridge, and construction workers spent thousands of man-hours building the bridge as quickly as possible. It would be fair to say that Russia's bridge to nowhere is an engineering marvel. The massive pylons that support the cables stand 390.2 meters tall and required 20,000 meters of concrete mix to build. The staggering height of the pylons means that the Russky Bridge is also one of the tallest bridges in the world. The sheer size of this mega project makes you wonder why Russia would build such an engineering feat in a place so barren. The Russky Bridge was built to serve the 2012 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference. The summit, which aims to promote free trade between Pacific Rim nations, was held at Far Eastern Federal University on Russky Island. Surprisingly, this is not the only cable-stayed bridge that Russia built in preparation for the summit. The Zolotoy Bridge, which connects Vladivostok to the Turkin Cape, was completed just months before the summit as well. With a span of 737 meters, it may not be as long as the Russky Bridge, but it was still quite costly with a $235 million price tag. The Russky Bridge was completed in July 2012, just months before the 2012 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference was held in September. Because the bridge was built solely to promote the summit, many consider it to be a vanity project. Building a bridge as large as the Russky Bridge is no easy feat. Engineers spent thousands of man-hours making sure the details were exactly right before the construction process could begin. The added stress of completing the bridge before the summit didn't make things easier. To build the foundation of the bridge, 77-meter deep piles were driven below ground to support the large 320.9-meter A-shaped pylons on each side of the cable-stayed roadway. The pylons were concreted using custom self-climbing forms in pours of 4.5 meters. Because of the massive size of the bridge, a crane was required to complete the first 3 pours. The cables that stabilize the bridge are 579.8 meters long, and they are colored red, white, and blue in honor of the Russian flag. At night, the huge pylons are illuminated with bright light to give the appearance of a giant Russian flag draped over the bridge. Builders also faced numerous weather-related difficulties during construction. The inclement weather meant that completing the megastructure was much more difficult than building a bridge in a locale with a milder climate. Construction workers faced wind speeds of 36 meters per second, which resulted in 6-meter-high waves. The ice in the Eastern Bosphorus Strait can reach a thickness of 70 centimeters, and temperatures in winter can plummet to minus 31 degrees Celsius. Imagine carrying ice-cold rebar and dealing with bone-chilling winds. Jobs don't get much tougher than that. Building the bridge in the summer months was also very challenging. Imagine working a labor-intensive job in blistering heat. I bet those workers needed a lot of sunscreen. Temperatures in Vladivostok can reach 33 degrees Celsius in summer months. The extreme weather conditions surely took a toll on workers. So much material was needed to build the bridge that over 1,300 meters of railway track was built to transport it all. 2 huge production facilities were built in preparation for construction, one on Russky Island and another on Nazimova Peninsula. Thousands of builders worked tirelessly to construct the bridge, and many actually lived on site in living quarters during the process. All that hard work really builds up an appetite, so naturally there were canteens built on site as well to feed all the hungry workers. Office buildings, welding workshops, laboratories, and concrete mixing plants were also built on site. More than 900 meters of viaducts were built to provide an approach to the bridge, and the concrete and steel viaduct columns range in height from 9 to 30 meters high. 1.5 million cubic meters of dirt and rock were moved to build the construction sites on each side of the Eastern Bosphorus Strait, and state-of-the-art Russian cranes and equipment were used in the building process. The project began in 2008, and in just 4 short years, the bridge was finished. The bridge was officially named Russky Bridge on September 2, 2012, which was just 1 week before the 2012 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference. Russia spent $1.1 billion to build the Russky Bridge, but that's just a small part of the financial picture. The $1.1 billion construction cost was part of a larger $20 billion investment in the area. The massive investment also included the aforementioned Zolotoy Bridge and a brand new Far Eastern Federal University campus. Other than the university, there really isn't much going on Russky Island. Only 5,360 people actually live on Russky Island, which led many locals to wonder why such a huge bridge was being built at such an exorbitant cost. Russky Bridge has 4 lanes total, 2 going in each direction, and the bridge can handle 50,000 cars per day. However, it sees nowhere near that amount of traffic. Boats and ferries had no problem meeting the transportation needs of residents and visitors before the bridge was built. The high cost to maintain the bridge seems excessive considering only a few thousand cars and tourist buses actually use the bridge. Russky Island may not literally be nowhere, but it's about as close as you can get. Before the bridge was built, many locals were worried about the potential impacts. Some locals thought it was unnecessary and complained about the environmental impact, but others were looking forward to a bustling economy and increased tourism. The long-term goal of the Russky Island Bridge project was to turn the area into a tourism hotspot, but so far that hasn't really happened. Tourism has definitely increased, but not to the extent that 50,000 vehicles are crossing the bridge every day. Numerous luxury hotels were built in time for the 2012 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference, but they are far from packed today. The Russian government wants to turn Russky Island into a business and academic hub, and it's quite possible that could still happen in the future. Far Eastern Federal University is growing at a rapid pace, and today the university serves 41,000 students. Studying at the Russky Island campus must be very relaxing. Imagine being able to earn a top-notch university education on a sparsely populated island. Studying would be much less stressful without the loud noises of a major city. Far Eastern Federal University's Russky Island campus is used to hold conferences fairly frequently, so it is not as if the Russky Bridge is a total waste. Russky Bridge may be a waste now, but there is still hope that it could become a vital piece of infrastructure in the future. One such conference that is held at Far Eastern Federal University is the annual Eastern Economic Forum. It is nowhere near as large as the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference, but it is attended by many high-profile visitors. Russia has money to spend, so expect to see plenty more mega projects in the future, even if some of them seem like a complete waste. Russia is currently in the midst of a massive infrastructure overhaul. The country could look very different in only a few years. Natural gas company Novatek is building a massive Arctic terminal on the coast of the Gaidan Peninsula. The $2.2 billion Utrini terminal will handle more than 40 million tons of liquefied natural gas, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. No pun intended. Russia is also spending $96 billion to modernize and revamp the country's highways, airports, railways, and ports. Prominent projects that are part of this investment include the Moscow-Nizhny Novgorod Railway, Zubga-Sochi Motorway, and the Berengovsky Port. There are also plans to spend $47 million to revamp Pevek Airport, which is the northernmost airport in Russia. The Moscow-Nizhny Novgorod Railway will transport passengers over 400 kilometers. There are also plans in place to build a high-speed rail from Moscow to St. Petersburg. That's 1,100 kilometers of railway track total. That's it, folks. Have you ever traveled across the Russky Bridge? Are you inspired to visit Russky Island in the future to see this engineering marvel up close and personal? Are you surprised the bridge was completed on time despite the harsh weather conditions?